Hi everyone. Today I'll go through the Ceilidh lab submission. I'll walk you through the submission of exercise IO2-4 through Ceilidh. As I have mentioned, uh, during next week for your e-learning exercise, you will need to submit all those lab exercise with asterisk sign through Ceilidh. To do that, to enter to Ceilidh, you need to enter this IP address. If you key in the IP address, it will bring you to the Ceilidh web server. Click on this and you enter the website. To make life easier for you, you can actually pin it to the taskbar by selecting the tools and creating an application shortcut. Check pin to taskbar and press create. This will create a shortcut for you so that in future you could enter Ceilidh much easier. This is the shortcut that is being created. This will bring you to the website. If you are using the Internet Explorer, similarly the IP address will bring you to the website. Click on this. In order to pin it to the taskbar, you will need to select Add Site to the Start menu. Click Add. This will not directly set up the pin it to the taskbar. You need to get it from the Start program. Look for Ceilidh, right click and pin this to taskbar. Once you are in the website, click on Compro Full-Time Common Module Programming. This will bring you to this page where you will select Fundamentals of C. Next, click on IO2-4.C exercise. The page within this curly with this bracket indicates which page you can find the exercise in your textbook. Go through the page and look through the question. When you click on this, it will bring you to the login page. Enter your login name and password. You can find your login name and password in the previous piece of paper that I passed to you. The blue color is your login name and your password is your student number. Select ECE or EBM Compro and choose Attempt Exercise. Press Go. This will bring you to the interactive Ceilidh submission. Do not press Go at this point of time. When your option is Submit and you press Go, it will consider as you have submitted. You have only 15 submission try. Instead, copy the program skeleton from here and paste it to Visual Studio. This is the program segment from the page. Copy this to Visual Studio. Next, take out your C programming textbook and turn to page 2-41. Look for the exercise IO2-4.C. Type in the program IO2-4.C to Notepad. Save this file as io2-4.c.text to drive D. You will then add this text file to your Visual Studio. You will now have both files side by side in Visual Studio. I'll now walk you through the process in Visual Studio. I've already created a project file called lab2 fundamentals_c. Next, in the source file, I'll add create a new C code. I'll name this select C++ and name it io2_4.c. Remember to put the .c extension and click Add. Next, go back to your Ceilidh website and copy and paste this skeleton. Copy the skeleton over here. Go back to Visual Studio and paste it over here. This is your skeleton. In Drive D, I've created a file, the text file, called io2-4. Take out your textbook and go to page 2-41 and type in the code into this text file. Save this text file as io2-4.text. Once you have done that, you can now add the text file. Go to source, add existing item, not the new item, use existing item. Go to Drive D and select IO this text file. Now this text file will appear here. Go to Windows and use New Vertical Tab Group. Now you have both files side by side. With the two files side by side, you are now ready to start the exercise. The code, the text file code in your programming, your textbook, is not in the correct sequence. You need to rearrange this code in the right sequence of declaration, initialization, calculation, and finally the output. This sequence is applicable to all your C code you'll be writing in the future. So remember this sequence. First, we need to identify the declaration. Declaration is where you declare the variables. Here, the integer variables and the float variables are declared. Copy it to the declaration portion. Next, to the initialization. Initialization is the assignment statement where CP, EE, and EM is assigned a value each. Copy this portion to the initialization part of the C code. Next, to calculation. Calculation is where here the division and the addition is done. Notice the average is the sum divided by 3. Therefore, you need to complete the sum first before you do your average. The sum is calculated first before the average is calculated. Next, to the output. Similarly, we identify the output. There is a wrongly written output over here in the original skeleton. Delete this away and copy this or overwrite it with this particular statement. That should complete the whole sequencing code. But before you can submit to Ceilidh, there are still additional things that you may need to do. For example, you will need to include this standard library.h so that exit 0 can be called. You will need to compile the code first. Compile it many times and test run it before you finally do a submit. These options you can choose by pressing this down arrow and select compile. After compiling, do a test run. Do it many times until you are satisfied before you do the submit. You'll probably do your testing using Visual Studio. Before you submit to Ceilidh, you'll probably have to do some additional modification. For example, you may need to comment out the console IO and get child, as this is not recognized in Ceilidh. Another thing to remember is that if you are doing this exercise at home, you would need to turn on the virtual private network. Otherwise, Ceilidh website will not properly pop up. This is the final code that properly compile in Ceilidh. For example, you notice that I have commented out console IO and get child. Test and compile the code many times before you do the submit. You have only 15 submit try. Once everything is correct, select the option submit and press go. A page will come out to provide how well you have done. Notice the marks here give different category. We have dynamic, topology, and features. The dynamic covers the highest mark, and the topology the lowest of 5 marks. In this code is quite badly written because you have forgotten about the exit code. In dynamic, we have very low marks. And next is that this code is not properly indented and have over low score of only 19 marks. See, dynamics cover the highest marks of 80, topology the least. That concludes the exercise. Thanks.